Some people have some. Okay, so I think we do the window right now. Because about half the people are ready. Okay, super. I'm excited. Let's try to make it a little bit easier for you guys. So let's start here. You're going to get a window in a second that looks like the one on the left. Actually, you know what? It's better if we look at it. That's the ones from last. I guess there's more examples. You know what? Let's give you the win. If you can beat me here, you can click on this and download this. If not, if you're not there yet, I'm going to put this link in the chat. And can you click on the link?
I can click a link.
Click that link in the chat and download that picture. Full disclosure, we did this exact same window with grades 7 and 8, with most people using Photoshop. We're gonna do it.
Did you do it with my brother?
Yes. So you can say, hey, Sinez, let me show me your window. You could compare yours with his.
Even if I said that, he probably wouldn't.
Okay, download the picture. We're going to use that in just a second. But what I think, if you can just look at my screen for half a second, you're going to hopefully make it a whole lot better. The one on the left is the original. It's crooked, it's dull, it's dark, it has spots on it. It has a shingle missing. The windows, the curtains are dark. It's kind of boring. We're going to try to get it a little bit more exciting. The one on the right. Here are some student examples from recent times. That's pretty bright. Notice they changed the color at the top. That'll blow your mind later. There's another one. And there's probably, oh, these are from last spring. Can we do better?
Mr. Sturgeon, how do we brighten the photo?
We're going to show you that in just a second. Gavin's in Innovation Tech, and he did the same thing in Photoshop. I bet you he did a better job than there. Anita, Luca, look at the curtains he tried to brighten. Kind of orange tinge on there. This person left the spots. They used the blur tool. Okay, all right. You can do, what's the best way to do this? You can do the window I better download it too. One of two ways. You can try to follow along, but you might get, the problem with following along and trying to do what I do is you might get frustrated. I might suggest that you kind of watch, and there's actually a recording of what I'm going to go through in just a second that you can always go back to. Okay, I'm going to be you. Here we go. I'm going to right away go File, Open, and find that window. You guys, I suppose, could all do that. All right, I'm ready to roll. So I'm going to sort of think out loud, pretend I'm a YouTube video. All right, I have a window in, it's locked. Always good to double click and unlock it. And it's always good practice to make a duplicate of your layer so you have, if you want to throw it out, or in our case, we're going to compare it. I'm going to call this the original layer, and I'm going to call this, let's call it working layer, or real layer, or this one or something. And we're going to make sure that's on the top and turn this bottom guy off. So this guy is just there to compare later on. So we're not even going to worry about him. Okay, working. The first thing I want to do is turn this around. So if I remember, in Pixlr, can I go Command T? No, I can't. Command T. So I have to go Edit. It's Command R in Pixlr. Transform. Or you know what? I think, hold on, in Pixlr, can't you just, let me just test something. Yeah, you can just click on it. And All right, so I have to try to get this straight. There's no ruler. I'm going to use the top of the picture to try to get this straight. That's pretty close. Because there's no ruler in Pixlr, it's kind of hard. You kind of have to guess. Okay, straight. Then I like to cut off all the whites and the other stuff. I could do it a couple of ways. I could go this way and then invert and I'm not on a layer and delete. But there's a better tool here. You've all seen a crop tool before. And as soon as you crop, it gives you the borders. And you could mess around in here.
I've removed it already.
Great, good for you.
Easily.
Okay. Looking good so far. Now, I still like going to look at what do I have to do to affect the whole picture? In this case, this picture is kind of dull. So one of the options at the top is something called adjustments, and I have to be on a layer for it to show adjustments. And we could try auto adjust, didn't really do anything. There, some of these are going to look familiar. Brightness and contrast, yeah, you could use that.
I use that. It looks cool now.
Okay, you could use some of the other ones. Well, we're going to show you two that are kind of more advanced. The one that's really
Mr. Sturgeon, excuse me, sorry. How did you attach that thing? Like, how did you attach it all the way to like that? Like, how did you match it? Like, how did you match it and how did you rotate it?
I just clicked on the picture and rotated.
Oh, you can do that?
Yeah, as long as you move tool. Sorry, let's get back.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Let's get back to the adjustment thing.
Thank you so much.
So the curves is really advanced, and a matter of fact, it's so advanced that I don't even use it. I like to use levels because it turns the blacks and the whites in the pictures into a graph. And usually when they kind of got some wonky stuff in a graph, you kind of want to eliminate it. We can play around here. What does this do? This is blacks. So this increases the darkness. Let's just pull that in a bit. I'm going to pull this guy. So that kind of affects the whites, not necessarily just how bright it is, but the amount of whites. That's looking better. In the mid-tones, I can play around on my computer. That probably looks the best. And if you want to play around with these guys and see what they do, you're more than welcome to do that. And I'm going to click apply. And just for fun, I'm going to click this original layer and we're going to do a quick before and after. There's the after. So I'm turning this layer off. So that's what it looked like. And now it's what it was looking like now. Wow, I deserve a medal. I should be a photographer or an artist. Look at that. Okay, now we have some problems to solve. So those are the kind of the big things. Let's go for the obvious ones, the kind of black spots. There's a couple of ways to do that. You could copy and paste. You could use a clone stamp. I'm going to take this Band-Aid guy, the heel. It says remove spots. That's what we want to do. Okay, make sure that I'm on the layer. Let's change the size of the brush. And if I go here and click on this black spot, poof, magically it heals, much like you have a cut that heals from the outside. It happened there as well. That brush might be too big. No, that worked. And there's a little spot over here. I might have to go and try smaller brush. And if I just go over here, that's, oh, and there's one up here. Smaller, the brush is about the right size. That's looking a lot better. Speaking of little mistakes, you probably noticed this mistake down here, this missing shingle. Can I use the healing brush on there? Let's see what would happen.
No, it will like, it will, yeah, it will do that.
Yeah, so it's trying to fill it in. So it's almost too big. That's why this guy is.
Yeah, you could like, you could try lowering the size of the brush, but like what happens instead is
Yeah.
like it makes like it really merges the clay and it makes it look more like it's alive than it's brick.
Right. There's a couple
This
other
is
things if
healing.
you didn't know what you were doing. You could take the lasso tool, go get a copy of a shingle. I'm going to go Command C, Command V. whoops, because I didn't have the layer here, Command C, Command V, and it actually made a copy and stuck it on its own layer. And you could put it over here if you had a better selection, and you'd probably never know the difference. That could work, but there's a couple other ways that I think would even be better and are kind of more fun, actually. Next to the heel guy is this guy, the clone.
That doesn't work very well.
So if I click here and I go and click on it keeps taking me off the layer. If I click a source, so I'm going to click here and my brush, I'm going to make my brush a little bit smaller. I don't trust it. And I'm going to go over to my source. And if I kind of look where I'm painting, if you can see the bullseye where it's copying from. So that's making an exact copy. The one little thing in Pixlr, if you want to take what I figured out, if you want to use a clone stamp again, sometimes you have to get off the tool. So let me just go over here. I'm going to click a source, and then I'm going to go and it's going to clone it.
Mr. Sturgeon,
Exactly
source
where
is
it's
like
from.
source
Hold
is
on,
like
hold on.
where
Great. You got to pick your moments to jump in. So those, in this case, the clone stamp's a lot of fun. You could copy and paste. Gray, what were you going to say?
okay, so like if you do source, it will like it will like make it like, and then you do source, it'll switch you to paint, and then you could like do something in another area. It will like make another brush and like it will make another crosshair in source, and that will move around, and then it's basically like if you do source and like just move it around, it will like and it will create another crosshair, and then what the effects are basically like you painting what's selected in the other crosshair.
Yeah, so what Gray's saying is, if you switch these things, something else happens. So when you get a chance to use the clone tool, maybe you play around and you'll kind of see it for yourself. Keep that as a little surprise. Yeah, because sometimes you want it to go to where you're going or where it's coming from. You can kind of inverses it. Okay, so it's looking a lot better, tons better. I would like to maybe brighten up the curtains. So one of the tools, dodge and burn, lighten or darken areas. Lighten. Let's just pull the strength up to show you. 100% is way too much. So this will make things lighter. That's probably not a good practice. The better practice is to keep something low and maybe to build on it. So change your brush size and you can sort of build up the effect if you wanted to. Let's say we wanted to, now I'd make my brush smaller normally, but I'm just trying to save a little bit of time. Or you can darken items. Let's say, nothing's too dark in this picture. So if I go over and over at 31, it's going to increase the darkness. So light and dark can really make things pop. Let's just do one quick slice of the curtain here, just to have a bit of difference there. I'm just doing this quick. Okay. Let's do one big thing. And this one is really useful. And actually, let's ask you guys. I would like to change the color of the concrete above the window. Anybody have a suggestion of one way I could do it? Nobody? Okay, I'll pretend I'm.
I do.
What is it?
When you're in that like setting, you click on shadows
Okay,
and then you like highlight that.
okay, we could. What if I wanted to change this orange though? I want to paint the building. So here's the kind of thinking that I went through. I said, okay, I want this to be orange. So I could go get a brush. I can go pick a color and make sure I'm on the right layer. And I could paint this orange and try to keep it on the blue. That looks terrible. Okay. Oh, I know if I actually go and select this blue, I used the magic wand and I'm holding the shift key to add to it. Remember that you could also probably go and take the lasso tool and select that as well. Let's do that this time. I'm going to hold the option. Ooh, I can't use the option key in here. Let's pretend that's selected. Then I could use the brush. Right now, I'm going to stay in the lines. Still looks terrible, but I can paint inside the lines. There's one little tool here that might help you. Color replace. Aha, change one color in an area to another by drawing over.
Yeah, I made my whole thing orange
Let's
using
see what happens
it.
now. So now it's painting orange, but it's putting the color orange, but it's keeping the shading and the lighting from what was there before. That looks realistic. However, there is something really funky that I'm going to hit Command D, and I'm going to use the wand tool to pick this blue up. It keeps taking me off. Whoa. There we go. Notice when I picked the blue, it didn't pick all the blue. There's two options. I can hold Shift to add to the selection, or I can try to increase the range of blue. So if I go up here, actually, that's still hold Shift. All right. Ready to have your mind blown? Remember we did the adjustments over here on the entire picture? If we try to make an adjustment now, it's only going to affect the part that we selected. So if we did that same curves thing, it's going to affect the blacks and the whites. But what's really cool is if we choose another option, hue saturation. Hue simply means color. All right, some of you are going to have your mind blown right now. You move the slider and you can decide on what color you'd like to have. And since I mentioned orange, let's go for orange. Let's go a really bright orange. And that from my computer, like that looks good. Yay! So now I changed the color of my house background to orange. You know what? I'm so inspired so much that I'm going to change a couple of the flowers to orange. I'm going to use my magic wand again. I'm going to go and that flower, wow, I got lucky with the tolerance. I'm going to hold Shift. Whoops, I didn't hold Shift. Now I'm holding Shift. Oh. Let's pick another, that little piece here. Let's go back. So those four guys, what if I made those like orange, hue saturation, green, yellow, blue, orange, green. You know
Mr.
what?
Sturgeon.
1 second.
Okay.
I'm going to make them blue instead. Yeah, go ahead.
I made my flowers the colors of the rainbow, but I made my, like the green part brown. So now it looks like a dead bush with flowers.
Well.
Change it.
I'm gonna change that. That looks awful.
So just now, before, after, after. So your job is going to do something similar. Now, try to do like should I mention this or not? Yeah, in the past, people have put like ghosts in the windows, or they have changed the curtains to something else. For example, let's say there's no quick selection tool. Let's pretend I was a little bit more, they have put something else behind or on that, sorry, let's go back one, on that particular, we can't change the opacity. It's on the whole layer. Can we change the, let's not mention that then. Now, when you get to the point where you're happy, we're going to ask as the superstar extension part to put both of them on the same document. You could do this. You could say, okay, I'm just going to make this guy really small, and Then I'm going to turn this guy on and make this guy really small. Yay, look at that. They're on the same page. But now you've crunched it all down and it's really, really tiny. The other way to do that is to go File, New, get a big canvas and bring them in. But there's a super advanced way, and I remember the day I learned this and I was so happy. Right now, our canvas is 400 by 600 approximately. Okay, this is super geeky. Watch this. Image. If we change the image size, we're just going to make the picture bigger or smaller. We want to make the background, or think of art class, the canvas, bigger. So here we go. Canvas size. I would like enough room to put the pictures side by side and a little bit of space in the middle. So 400 is for 800. Let's go 1200 pixels. In the height, I'd like some space for some text, like before and after. So 600, let's go 800. And let's say make the space to the right and at the top. What does that mean? You'll see right now. So space is at the right and the top, and I can take the before and after. It still gave me the white background, interestingly. And because that's a white background, maybe I put.
I have a question. Where's the undo button? Because I can't find it on Pixlr.
You can hit Command Z or Control Z, or over on the right, the history palette, you can look back 25 steps or so.
I'm on an iPad.
You're gonna have to go edit undo. It's a little harder on the iPad, I think. On this layer, let's fill it because that is already white. I'm gonna fill that with white. Move that layer behind everything. And then maybe put in a layer that says, wherever that text layer went, where did you go? Where did you go? There we go, just can't see the color, flip this color. Hello, there we go, just pick something. So we could have a before, and we could have an, I'm trying to duplicate the layer, before and after, and then that would be kind of neat. I didn't do it for going really fast. I'm kind of happy with the one I have on the right. And if I wanted to, I could crop it again to keep, leave it like that. And then if I was done, I would go File, Save as a JPEG at the highest quality possible. Window, B, and after. Download it. And then put it on Sterling's page because it's the one I have open.
Wait, so do I have to do it or?
What? I'll tell you. Do I have to do it? Yes, you have to do it. Unless you're rich and have lots of money, I can be bought. No, I'm just joking. Of course you do it. So that's kind of a window dude. So if this was Sterling in real life, we'd say Sterling got his messed up head, he's got a bidet head, and then we'd say,